Well, thank you very much, Mr. Keyamo, for talking to us on TV 360. You've declared your interest to go into politics, but people would say there's a clear difference between what you're doing now and politics, that you're moving into a very, very difficult terrain that is sometimes unpredictable. You think you're prepared for this?
You see, this whole idea of the danger of the terrain of politics and the stories that always fly around to scare people away from, or good people away from politics. I can tell you that the stories are, in most cases, overblown by the very people who destroy our politics. And they do this in order to scare people away from coming to challenge them.
You've been known to be someone who criticized government. You've criticized several governments in this country in the past.
So maybe I'm going to criticize myself.
Yeah, you're still doing so now. Now, what you're doing now, by choosing to go into politics, you will be putting yourself in the line of fire.
The danger to our democracy is not the handiwork of those who misrule us and who seek to run down our public institutions. No, the real danger is in the silence of the majority of good people that should speak out and throw these brigands out of power. That is the real danger to our democracy. People are not speaking out. People are scared. People are not willing to come out and challenge them. I'll tell you this. And I gave this example also in my little address on YouTube to the people of Delta State. If you had told anybody 6 years ago that a certain man called Mr. Fix-It to the Anene, who had all the structures of the PDP firmly under his grip in Edo State, if they had told you that he would be chased out and voted out by the same people who he had deceived for so long, you would have thought that the person was perhaps was high on cocaine. If somebody had told you that, you would say this man must be high on cocaine. It took one man and the courage of one man called Adams Oshiomhole to challenge the status quo and finally awaken the people of Edo State. He roused them from their sleep and said, we can do this. And what happened? They actually did it. At the last gubernatorial elections, they failed to win even one ward in the whole of the state. That is what it takes to arouse the consciousness of the people.
Can I just ask
what we are doing is to arouse the consciousness of the people of Delta State, to take their destinies. This is not politics. Let me tell you this. This is not politics. Politics is putting it to say, this is a battle, it's a crusade. It is very like what I've always been engaged in. So I'm not new to this stuff.
You just talked about arousing the consciousness of the people of Delta State. Is this just about arousing the consciousness of the people of Delta State?
Now, when I say politics, when I say it's not politics, what I mean is that do not brand it like what we have always seen. Of course, ultimately, the quest for power is called politics. But politics in the context in which you are using it is politics that is the normal game of giving money out, bribing people, telling them how to give money to structures, to police, to INEC, to say, look, I want to take over power. That is the context in which people have, people are seeing politics now. The context in which I am talking about the struggle for power is complete and total reorientation of our people. They must have it up in their heads that the way they have been playing politics is not the way politics should be played. That there is, in fact, power in their hands. There's power in their hands to change things. That's why you can see the slogan of my group is, "Now our hand a day." Now our hand a day. That's the slogan of my group.
Are you really serious about this?
You see, to reply you simply and say, yes, I am serious, will not even carry my message across as much as I am serious. Beyond answering you in the affirmative and 110%, beyond answering you that, I want to also ask you a rhetorical question. Do you see anything in what I am doing to indicate that I am not serious? Do you see anything? First of all, is it by pedigree? Is it by the ability to reach out to my peers? I did not grow up in Lagos. Take note, I was born and bred at home. So this whole idea that somebody is in Lagos and wants to take over structure at home is wrong. I was born, I only came to Lagos after the law school to look for a job. I started working with Gani Fawehinmi. My primary, secondary, and university education were at home. So you can imagine that the bulk of my friends, classmates, contemporaries were all schoolmates and at home, not the friends I made in Lagos. So you can imagine the show of love and solidarity I have at home. You can imagine the belief. It's not the belief of say, Keyamo is coming to give us money. Keyamo is coming. No, it's the belief in what I stand for. Show me one person in Delta State. And I say this with all sense of humility. And please, I beg for the immodesty to say it. That has, of my peers, of my contemporaries, that has fought for good governance, that has fought for democracy, that has fought for social justice over the years. Show me one person.
So you're actually putting your heart in the ring because you're frustrated with the kind of governance you have in Delta State. Am I correct?
The world has followed the history of Delta States in the last few years. Not just Nigeria, not just even Delta State. The world, it has become an international scandal. Delta State is seen as the capital of corruption in Nigeria. Why? Because you know, of course, that there are certain leaders in the past who took the state to the international map because of issues of corruption. And subsequent leaders have not learned a lesson. They are even still paying homage to the past in order for them to secure their future. For them to secure their future and to get assurance that they will rule the state, they have to pay homage to the past. And I ask myself, are we going to sit down in the comforts of our individual professions and allow this nonsense to continue? When are we going to say enough is enough? When? At what point? Deji, evil has a lifespan. Evil has a lifespan. It does not last for too long. At some point, evil has to end. But evil will not end without human efforts. In most cases, they say, and like they normally say, that the chains that prevent us from achieving our goals, the chains and the boundaries, are always in our mental fiber. They're always in our head more than real. We always think that it's too difficult to challenge the monster. It's too difficult. When they say PDP has a machine, I'm talking of even Delta, so not talk of Nigeria first. PDP has a machine. What is the machine? There's no machine. The machine is just to give money to police and INEC. At the end of the day, say, please help us change figures. There's no machine. There's no machine. And when you conscientize the people to change that, that's the end of it. Is that not the end of it? When you say you have a machine, it means you have people at world level who believe in you, people at local government who believe in you, people who are working hard to achieve your goals. That is a machine. There's no machine.
There's a clear difference, no doubt, between social activism, what you're doing now, and politics. There's a clear difference. No, and I hope you appreciate that.
They said the same thing for Shomele too. They told him, they were laughing when he left labor to politics. They said now they want to tell him that labor and activism is not politics. Didn't they tell him that? They told him that. Today, the story is history. I'm not talking of an example in America. I'm not talking of an example in Cameroon. That's why it's the border state. The old Bender state, you know, we have the same mentality. Do you know that? Anybody from the old Bender, which is now Edo and Delta, if you say an Ishan boy and the Bini boy, it's the same way a Warri boy behaves or a Sapele boy behaves. It's the same old mentality. So tell me why you cannot arouse their consciousness. The same thing that happened in Edo cannot happen in Delta.
So you can work with politicians?
Absolutely. Everybody. I can work with everybody. But when you say you can work with everybody, make sure that you, at every point in time, you are in control of the policies and direction of your group. You know, that's the difference. The difference is when you want to say you want to work for politicians, they are in control and they can steer your ship towards a direction you don't want to steer your ship. But when you are in control, whoever wants to join should join. Because at that point, you can be sure that you cannot steer your ship to a direction that you don't want to steer your ship. But you can work with anybody really, so long as you are at every point in time in control of the direction of that group.
Let us look at the resources now. I mean, going into politics, you want to run for governor, it requires enormous amount of resources, especially in Nigeria here, where politics, as I say, is not cheap. Do you have the resources to run?
There is nobody on earth who runs for such a high office with his own funds. Who tells you that is a lie? Mitt Romney, American billionaire in dollars, had to go cap in hand begging to raise funds for his campaign. Some of the richest contestants go out, because you see what, let me tell you why. People will have to believe in you anyway. If you are spending your own money, people don't believe in you. That means people don't believe in you. Pedigree, image, integrity, they are as much as an asset as money. Some people have money, but they may not be sellable. Some people are sellable, but they may not have money. And that's what happens all over the world. All they do is to look for people who are sellable. And they put money on them. And so at the right time, Deji, I will come to you too, to bring 10 kobo from your pocket.
Okay, I just might be willing to give you money, but you know, you also will be going to some top politicians to get money as well, some real money. Would you be scrutinizing the money that comes into you to be sure these monies are not tainted?
Oh yes, because first of all, don't forget that my history will prevent me from going to certain individuals in the first place. Because it's not like I'm coming from nowhere, I'm coming from somewhere that everybody knows. And that is also one selling point, you know, I give to the people of Delta State. Would you really put your money and your faith in somebody who has stood for nothing? Or would you rather put your faith and money on somebody who has stood for something? Because really, you hate me or like me, you cannot deny me that fact that, oh well, you've heard my voice consistently in the last 20 years. And every point in time, you know where he stands. I may be a nuisance to you, I may be annoying to you at times, but you know where I stand all the time. That's a plus. Rather than people who you don't even know where they stand on issues. Anybody who seeks to lead must have a history that is so apparent, so transparent, and so open that people at every point in time must tell you where he stands on any issue. And I'm sure even as a journalist, you know, Deji, that most times when issues broke, when news break, and you are coming to me, you know the reply, you know the comment you are expecting from me. And it will be a shock at times if I comment otherwise. Because you know exactly how I will be thinking in that situation. So in the last 20 years, in this country, people can stand up and say, they know what he will say anyway. It would be a surprise if I say otherwise. So that is what is required in public office. In public office, people must know at every point in time where you stand on issues. They must know your philosophies. They must know how you are thinking. And that is what the ordinary politicians do not offer you. Because they hold nocturnal meetings. They don't have any principle, no policy. You just hear the next day that they've endorsed Deji. That's what you just hear, that he has been endorsed. Why? You don't know. You don't know why he has been endorsed. That he has been the one, he's not been endorsed to lead the party, to carry the party flag. Why? You ask. No way. Because he's the one that paid more for it. He's the one that paid the party elders more for it. That is you see, people, this mentality we carry around the place about the type of politics we play in Nigeria, about the type of politics the politicians play, about the type of politics that, you know, that's pervading the whole place. We are not even thinking of the reverse. And the reverse is that at what point are we going to start rolling back and reclaiming our country? At what point? There has to be a point where you now say, okay, this is the point where we begin to reclaim.
So what political party do you belong to?
We're all talking with my group because I'm not a dictator. And I have a large group, you know, members of the Delta Forces United. And we are looking at the manifestos of so many parties, especially the progressive parties. Definitely you will see me in one of the progressive parties.
How soon?
No doubt about that. In the next few weeks or months, definitely.
Are you considering joining the PDP?
I have said it before, and I said it on a jocular note, but though I'm serious about it, that if it's the last party on earth, I'll commit suicide.
The reason I asked you this question is it is generally believed that the PDP, it's a general perception that the PDP is very strong in your state. It has won virtually all the elections held in that state.
The PDP is also strong in Delta State.
To date.
So, Deji, hold on. Just like it was on the ground in Anambra, just like it was on the ground in Imo, just like it was on the ground in Edo State, just like it was on the ground everywhere, just like it was on the ground in Ogun State.
You're from Delta Central.
Absolutely.
So let us look at the politics of zoning in your state. You're from Delta Central. It is a general perception in that state now that the next governor should come from Delta North, that it's high time Delta North produced a governor, and you're from Delta Central. You don't think that could work against?
There's no general. People of Delta North are not agitating. That's why your premise is wrong, Deji. They are not agitating, just the politicians using their people to raise doors. There's no agitation anywhere. The agitation is within a class of more than 5 or 10 people who just want to deceive their people. Because just go there and Delta North, they are stoning them. Many of them, they will stone them if they go to their villages. They don't like them. These people they don't want these characters. And so they are using ethnicity to whip up sentiments. I'll tell you this, Deji. Let me say this. Let me tell you directly, answer your question. First of all, I am not in PDP. PDP arrangement cannot bind anybody in the state. It's a PDP arrangement. Any arrangement you're talking about is a PDP arrangement. Secondly, you have been following the policy of Delta State. In 1999, people of Delta North contested primaries and general elections, they were defeated. In 2003, people of Delta North contested primaries and general elections, they were defeated in all the parties. In 2007, people of Delta North contested primaries election in different parties and general elections, they were defeated. In 2011, the same thing happened. If there was an arrangement, how come they were contesting? Tell me, Deji, how come?
It depends on the party.
If there was even in PDP, if there was an arrangement like that, how come they were contesting? Let me tell you this. They are very intelligent people, extremely hardworking people, and I'm sure you know them, of the finest qualities from the Delta North. And so you also have them in Delta Central. And so you have them also in Delta South, senatorial districts. But when you are sick, when you are in need of surgery, and you are dying, would you look for your brother who is a doctor to treat you? You look for the best hands. At that point, you look for the best hands.
Are you saying there's no best hand that can govern the state from Delta North?
It can come anywhere. I only offer myself, not on the platform of Delta Central. Don't forget that I am the only person that has told everybody, if you are coming to campaign for me on an ethnic platform, just leave me out of it. Don't come to me and say you are Ijo, Ishekiru, Robo, and Yoma. Don't. You must come to me that you are a Deltan. That is all we want to do at this stage. Don't forget too that somebody also declared last week, and I'm sure you read it, I don't have to mention his name. He said it was the turn of the Ijos. That was the platform upon which he declared last week. And so if they ask somebody, you want to be governor, why do you want to be governor? The only answer is, it's my turn. Haba, Deji. That is the manifesto of anybody. That you want to be governor because it's my turn. My turn to do what? My turn to do what? It can only be a euphemism for my turn to steal. It can only be a euphemism because you cannot say you are governor and your priority will be to satisfy your own ethnic group. So why at all is that issue coming up? Because one, you cannot argue that I want to benefit my people now more. My people have suffered. So I want to be governor to rescue them and I will abandon the other parts of the state. You have to be governor of everywhere. So why are you insisting it has to come from a zone? Why? You have to give a rational reason. You have to give a rational reason.
But in fairness, would it be right for the governor of a state to continually come from just a particular zone?
My mother is from Ogun State. It was a clamor within the PDP at the last 2011 election that have you followed the policy of Ogun State, that the governorship had to come from Yewa Awori group. The Yewa Awori, because they had never produced the governor of that state from beginning till now. And that was where the problem of General Lurin and Saka also, my cousin, all they started in that state, the battle. And what happened? The people of Ogun State said, look, sorry, we want to vote for Amosun. Amosun came back from the same senatorial district that Osoba, the other governor before Gbenga, came from. The people decided on their own that this is where we are going to vote. Did heavens fall? Are you not seeing development in Ogun State now? The first bridge in Abeokuta after many years. Did ethnicity produce that? The same thing happened in Imo State. They said it was the turn of Okigwe zone, if you remember. You follow the policy of Imo State. What happened? The people decided to vote for Rocha Sokorocha from another zone. Meanwhile, it was PDP arrangement that it was Okigwe zone. I be the zone of, if I'm mistaking it, maybe I'm mixing up, the zone of where the old governor came from. That it was their zone to produce. The people of of Imo State said, sorry, we want to vote for somebody else who we think can deliver us from this mess we find ourselves. And so they voted for Okorocha. I can cite examples from you across the country. So do not make Delta State look as if, hold on, do not make Delta State look as if it's peculiar. These issues have been going around in different states, and in many states, the people rejected all those notions and said, we vote the way we want to vote. Because you cannot climb the rostrum during elections and begin to say, it is my turn, it is my turn. You need to sell programs to the people, and that is what we will do at the right time. That hegemony, that dynasty of thieves, of looters, petty thieves, there's a dynasty, and I'm sure you know that dynasty. They are passing power from themselves to themselves. In fact, somebody had the temerity, I saw it on one blog, to say, Festus, 2015, somebody has, law government has, he put his key in his pocket. You mean you want to take that key from his pocket? In other words, they are telling the people of Delta State that we mean nothing, that they have made reservations already. Like a hotel room, reservations have been made, so reservations cannot be cancelled. But I want to tell them something. I have good news for them. That reservation, God has cancelled it.
You're sounding like the ticket of whichever party you join is just there for you to pick. Like you already got the ticket of any party you may choose to join.
I am sounding as if I'm confident that people will listen to my message. That is all I'm sounding about. I cannot take the people for granted, but I'm sounding like I am confident people will listen to my message. The message is a very simple message. And what is the simple message? We cannot rescue our state from where we are now if we continue to follow this little band of looters. Those who are coming from the same dynasty that we know that has been branded as petty thieves and brigands and looters. That small circle, we cannot continue like that. I'm telling them, break away from that. Let us have a clean sweep of Asaba. That is my slogan. Have a clean sweep of the old guard. And they will listen to me, and they are listening to me.
And you think so you're confident that whichever party you choose to join will give you their ticket?
Absolutely. Because that's the only way, that's the only thing the Deltans want to hear now. They don't want to hear any other message. They want to hear the message of change. Change, and change alone. All of them, now, they are coming from the same political class. That same small class. It's just they are passing, even in football now, even if you are Lionel Messi, if you dribble and dribble, after some time they will intercept the ball, Abi. This is the time for interception. We want to intercept now. That pass, they are passing to themselves. One team cannot play for 90 minutes without interception from the other team. Abi, this is the time to intercept. We want to intercept it now. We want to intercept that pass they are passing. This is the time to intercept. Now is the time.